On this week's City Skylines 2 o'clock, dumbed down complexity, limited raw resource solutions, do we need 2 videos a week, and will my system still cut it in October? All of this and much more with this week's special guest, This Old Gamer.
Well, hello, BonBonB. Thanks for having me on the program. I'm not sure how special I am, but I do appreciate that. Good sir, how are you on this fine day?
I am not too bad at all. Voice is a little croaky, but I'm sure I'm going to make it through this show.
Oh, we love croaky bonbon.
We do. Okay, so a lot of people seem to be very concerned that the new game will be too much of a handful with so many variables in operation all of the time. The devs have been consistently saying that it will be complex but not a complicated system, and have demonstrated this by explaining that the system will be mostly self-balancing, with things such as government grants to get you started, and no doubt finely tuned systems which will feed into each other. So, do you have faith in the systems that they've put together, and what expectations do you have regarding the new game's economy?
Well, I do have faith, and it's very interesting that they continue to use somewhat the same analogy as far as things being more deep and complex, but also not too complicated. And it seems like with the economy, you can really be extremely hands-on, or you can take a little bit of a step back and not have to deal with every little thing. Some of us like to micromanage more than others, and some of us, enjoy expanding the city more than doing the economy. So hopefully there's a little balance there. But yeah, there is a lot of systems in place in this game, and it really is going to be very interesting to see how it all pans out.
Yeah. I mean, the depth, it's loads of new systems, but loads of extra depth as well. I mean, in City Skylines 1, we only really had one commodity, that being goods, as in the phrase, not enough goods, which we've all seen several times. How excited are you by the depth of the new supply chain, and do you think it could actually be even deeper?
Well, I think it could be deeper. I mean, but I am excited. First off, the user interface, the UI on City Skylines 2, from everything we've seen on all the videos and screenshots, is a lot more user friendly overall. You can get a lot more detail on things, and we talked about before how everything is very connected, and the economy system in place from front to back, from the shops and the factories to the households and apartments and all that. It's all intertwined, and it's going to be very very cool to see in action once the game comes out.
Oh yeah, it's the whole thing, the whole user interface, as you're saying. Not only does it actually look and feel intuitive, it looks and feels like City Skylines, which I think is very important. Had they gone it too far away, they think that they would have lost a lot of the player base they've got already. But it does feel like something that you or I could just drop straight into and feel instantly at home with. Anyway, oddly, the thing about the whole new system that has impressed me the most is regarding the supply chain and how products are handled through production, through transportation and storage, with each having a specific price, a weight, and what they call space, or I would say maybe size, the amount of space or amount of size that this takes within a truck. Do you agree that little additions like this will have a big but very subtle effect on the game mechanics? Will we notice it, or will we definitely notice it?
I think we'll definitely notice it. And when you realize that you're going to need a completely different type of transportation to get these products from one place to another, I mean, we know that we're going to have a different level of realism with City Skylines 2, and that's going to go all the way down to everyday processes in your city. And, you know, that entire process, the entire loop of everything going on is going to be, it's going to make a difference as far as how the game plays out. I'm hoping that it's not like a frustrating thing where you're having to, chase your own tail on some of this stuff. That's kind of the one thing that I fear about it. It's just it's a lot. It's a lot to soak in. But of course, until we play it, I don't think we're going to get the full grasp of everything that we have to deal with as city builders on the sequel.
Well, I do see they are planning an actual gameplay live stream in about a week's time from the time that we're recording this. I haven't got the date in front of me because I'm that well organised. But I think, yeah, watching a little bit of live stream might actually be a little bit more revealing to us. But that said, the system that they'll be playing will still be. Is it late beta? Is it an early alpha? I'm not sure where it would fit in the actual chain of putting these things together, but it'll definitely be the game, and it'll definitely be interesting to see. Although it'll probably be what we've seen already, and it'll probably be that we don't get to see the bits that we really want to see, such as the editors. But we will see.
We will see.
Right, anyway, whilst we're still on transportation, here's something I've always wanted to know. And you're in retail, I understand. You're handling with big trucks and stuff like that. If you are a manufacturer of bubble wrap, when you ship it, what do you package it in?
What are you trying to blow my mind over here? A great question. I think you just put it in a box, right? You just put it in a big old box, and you just keep wrapping it up nonstop. Bubble wrap on top of a layer of bubble wrap until infinity.
I changed the words for that question to bubble wrap from styrofoam, because I'm not sure if styrofoam is a brand, whether it's European or whatever. Bubble wrap's a fairly generic packaging term. I'm pleased with that little joke. I'm going to stick with it. Right, anyway.
You got me. You got me.
Good. All right, anyway, similar to Cities Skylines 1, the ground resources are going to be limited. Yes, mods may well be able to mod this out, but not all of the specialised industry this time will be limited. The likes of oil and coal will eventually run out, yes. Trees will be able to regrow, so we can then go and exploit a different area for forestry again. I'm wondering if that will mean we're going to be moving around our forestry regions. Then stone and livestock will be able to be produced forever from that one area. But the thing is, given that land has been farmed in Europe and Asia for centuries, how realistic is it that, it looks like ground fertility will also run out. So is that realistic? How are you feeling about things like the forestry, and what about stone? Surely stone will run out if you keep quarrying it from the same location.
Well, I know that is kind of fascinating. Also, too, that we know that the time, how the time works on the game. I wonder how that overall, if that's going to be a more realistic thing to tie into all these resources possibly running out. I am interested in seeing, especially because we saw the breakdown, how you have all these different types of, like, under farming. You've got poultry and things like that. And as you hinted on, some of those things are not going to run out. And then we know these chickens are just going to continue to have the hots for each other forever and ever. So like that's interesting too. The stone thing and the trees and the age of the trees, meaning more resources and all that kind of stuff. It's just hopefully the game explains some of this stuff as we go. I would imagine it will, but moving your forestry around and all that, I can see that being a possibility, trying to find the best place on your map to have that kind of industry. So we'll see how that works.
Yeah, I'll say the forestry one was only really something that came to me quite late in the thought process. It was like, say, I get that oil will run out, but again, if 1 year is basically 12 hours in game at normal speed, how many years of oil is it going to stick around for the length of the time that it would take us to build this one single city? Or there's a lot of questions there from me. And of course, being able to switch it off, I think makes a bit more sense. I did see somebody comment somewhere. I don't remember where it is or who you were, but I did notice you, and I appreciate you. You're amazing, but not amazing enough to remember your name. But how the numbers they thought might not just be the total that was in the ground, just the maximum that you could produce from that within maybe a 12-month cycle. Just yeah, I would have thought that would have worked a lot better. But
Yeah, you gotta drill deep. You gotta drill deep.
yeah. Anyway, drilling deeper. Hey, see the little segue there.
Ah.
Drilling deeper and moving along. So, we get 2 videos a week out of Paradox. We get the Dev Diary early in the week, which is fluffy, contains all the juiciest bits, and it's beautifully presented. Love the presenter, and that obviously comes out with the actual long diary, which I read live on the channel just as soon as I knock off of work on a Monday evening. And then on a Thursday we get the developer insight videos, which I watch out of duty, having already read the diary in full. I don't really think that I personally pick up anything extra. If you've not read the diary in full, I get how the dev insight might be a thing, but having read it in full, do we really need a second video is what I'm thinking. I mean, this week all I got from that second video is from actually not from what the gent spoke of, but in the actual video footage it shows the specialized industries being put down, the hub building being put down, the area being zoned around it for the quarry or the farm, and then he said something along the lines of the buildings within that will then spawn in. So that means randomly spawn in. I'm not sure how many of us control freaks are going to particularly like that. What about you? Are you wanting a more hands-on approach along the lines of with Industries DLC in Cities Skylines 1, where you could actually do the layouts? Or are you going to be happy to place down the hub, zone out the area, and just let the game take it?
I have seen that this game seems to manage terrain a lot better, so it's very possible that, if we're putting it in the perspective of Cities Skylines 1, it might be a lot different than putting it in the perspective of Cities Skylines 2, because the buildings that do spawn, it seems that they work better with the terrain, and overall, it might make up the difference. We might not need to think that way anymore. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. We will see. Well, moving on to the biggest news of the week, and we've actually got a good chunk of time to be able to talk about this, you'll be pleased to know. So I see that you've been one very busy boy over the last few weeks, putting together, from what I have seen, and you have given me a preview of this, is, and I'm not just saying this because you're, I hate to say it, a friend, but you're a friend. I'm not saying it because you're a friend.
Aww.
I'm saying it because I genuinely haven't seen this video, believe it to be one of the most standout Cities Skylines videos from any creator ever, regardless of size, experience, or it has your particular panache built into it as well, which is of course unique, and that's the best way to do things. So first of all, without giving away obviously you don't want to give away the meat and potatoes here with the video. You want people to watch it. Well, what is the general what was it about? What inspired this video, and what's it roughly about?
Well, first off, I'm 6'2". Don't talk about my size. So I've been a big PC gamer for a long time, and I've been doing custom builds for a long time. And when I saw the system requirements for Cities Skylines 2 for the recommended, if you wanted to have the recommended settings, and we all get a new game, or at least I do, and I try to see how far I can push my video card and just what settings I can put it on. So I kind of wanted to take a little deep dive into those recommended system specifications and use my knowledge that I already have on these subjects and try to figure out what was going to be the best fit and what you would actually need and be able to get by with Cities Skylines 2. So it's kind of a deep dive with that, a little retrospect on how Cities Skylines 1 handled it with the Unity engine and the not using the multi-core processors to their fullest abilities. So we really dive into that and just have a little fun along the way. And I do my little usual bits that are funny in my head, and I think they're funny to a few people maybe.
Well, they definitely carried across really, really well. I do understand sometimes they might seem a little out there sometimes, but I think in this video it's perfectly balanced. I was just fully engaged through the entirety of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
kind.
Okay.
Yep.
So given we've still got quite some time to fill, and we're not padding yet, we're not padding yet. With your research and your already existing knowledge, was there any specific one sort of nugget that stood
Well,
out from this?
the one thing, and I used a lot of different resources online just so I wasn't getting them from just one source. I wanted to kind of see how many players out there were kind of in the same boat of saying, wow, a 2080 Ti, a 6800 XT graphics card by Radeon being those recommended, and how many gamers had the equivalent to that. Cities Skylines 2 is going to require 11 gigabytes of VRAM is what the 2080 Ti has. The Radeon 6800 XT has 16 gigabytes, which is just unbelievable. Just to put it in perspective, Cyberpunk 2077, which is a graphically heavy game, has gone through numerous updates over and over and over. And just now are they recommending for a maxed out setting with ray tracing and 4K and everything maxed out. Just now are they recommending 16 gigabytes. So for this game to just right out of the gate say you need this much VRAM on your video card, it's kind of unheard of in a lot of ways. And it is, obviously technology is advancing and these cards are getting more and more advanced, but how much are we going to be able to get by with? And a lot of City Skyline players are not what I'd call your average players. And they might not pay attention to this kind of things, like people that play your high FPS shooters and things like that, and more in tune with computers. So, there's a few people I know that play Cities Skylines and they don't play any other game. That's the only game they play. So for those of us out there like that, might have to do some upgrading, and the video takes a dive into my recommendations and what you might need to get by on playing this game. It's definitely going to take more power than Cities Skylines 1 to run. There's no question.
Yeah. Well, I've seen the video, and the video is specifically about the recommended settings. I will just put this in here for the benefit of Paradox and Colossal Order. Of course, recommended settings are not minimum settings. The game will run on less, but just maybe not necessarily quite as efficiently. But it will run on less. You don't absolutely have to have that E11 Ti graphics card that I already own, but let's not move down my little posh rig, eh? Anyway, let's move away from the technicals and talk about the awards. And I think there is a possibility for an Oscar for Best Performance in a tutorial video for the beautiful, beautiful Mrs. Old Gamer, aka Katie, who was more than once involved in the presentation. My question is, how much did she know she was in the video? Did she want to be in the video? And how much grief did you get for the production of the video?
Oh, well, oh gosh. First off, she's kind of a reluctant volunteer on some of these things. And she's been in a couple of my videos over the years, off and on. And, the opening scene, not to spoil, is just kind of like a flashback to when I upgraded my computer for Cities Skylines 1. And, she's kind of like rolling her eyes as I'm walking down the stairs with my motherboard and processor and video card in hand. And but she enjoys doing it, and she's always been a big supporter of me having this hobby of making videos and stuff like that. I went to school for video production and all that, so she kind of knows that I like doing these kind of things. I just need subject matter, and also I've been very busy and I haven't been putting out much City Skylines actual build stuff. So this has been a nice little break because I love mixing it up with some live video type stuff, and it was really a lot of fun to make. It's probably one of the more fun videos I've ever made, honestly. But I will accept her award on her behalf. Thank you for that.
Yes, deadpan. I'm going to say deadpan acting is what we got from her there, including some voiceover as well, which was very beautifully done. I'm a little hurt that you didn't come for the English accents, which would have worked perfectly. But at the end of the day, she did a stellar job. It's quality, and it is so funny. It is so funny.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But anyway, so we're getting down. We've got about a minute or thereabouts to continue. So within the next 60 seconds, what sort of proportion do you think of the current City Skylines 1 community will be good to go with City Skylines 2? I'm talking a system that will be able to play it at a reasonable level, if not necessarily the recommended level. What sort of proportion do you think?
I would say at minimum level, I would say it's going to be around 75% or so. For the most part, I believe just because this game was developed across the board on both console, PlayStation 5 and Xbox One X/S, I think it's going to include more gamers, and overall, I think everybody's going to be good at the end of the day. You might not get perfect results or max stuff out, but you're going to be good to play the game. So.
Well, I am excited for all those people that are concerned. Of course, anybody running a potato that struggles with CS1, I think it's fair to say you're going to struggle with CS2. But do check out this whole gamer's video. The link to his channel is, of course, coming up on the screen now, if not already. Do check him out. But that is it from us for today. If you'd like to say a brief farewell.
Brief farewell.
And thank you very much. Thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking. You have hit the like button, haven't you? And subscribing. I'll be back very, very soon. I've been BonBonB, and he's been This Old Gamer.
Bye-bye.